project established by the governments of the United States, Britain, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, and Sweden to collect Soviet diplomatic traffic that was sent in telegraph form to Moscow. They collected the material and they handed it off to a team headed by a person named Meredith Gardner, who was at Fort Meade, and they worked on the decryption. The messages were produced using something called a one-time pad, which was an unbreakable ciphering device. But the Russians, being incompetent, they reproduced the one-time pads, and the code was broken. A number of spies were exposed. The first two, as I recall, were the Rosenberg couple. Alger Hiss, who had the cover name Alex or Alice, was also exposed. The cover story was that the French had told the U.S. this, but in fact it was the Venona that exposed Hiss. Hiss was allowed to leave the State Department and went to work for the Carnegie Endowment for World Peace. In 1945 or 46, Nixon caught wind of the fact that Hiss had been removed from the State Department, but the case had never been investigated. And Nixon decided to make his bones on Hiss. There was a document that had been written by a communist writer named Whittaker Chambers about Hiss and about the group. And they got a hold of this document. It had been discussed to Adolf Burley, who was Assistant Secretary of the Treasury. Long story short, cut to the chase. Hiss sues Chambers, accusing him of perjury. A whole trial takes place. Nixon is behind the scenes. Many years later, I interviewed Nixon. And Nixon said, I didn't trust him.
What was that he said?
He said, I didn't trust Chambers. I knew he was a homosexual. And I knew that homosexuals lie. I didn't trust anything he said. And then something incredible happened. The communist attorney confronted Esther Chambers in the courtroom. Esther Chambers was Whittaker Chambers' wife, and she herself had been quite a fanatical communist.
When you interacted with Nixon, did you feel that he was in good spirits?
Oh yeah, he liked talking to us. He liked us a lot.
Okay.
So he said, and the communist attorney walked up to Mrs. Chambers in the courtroom and said, is it not true, Mrs. Chambers, that your husband is a sexual deviant? And she stood up in the courtroom and slapped him hard. And after that, Whittaker Chambers decided, I will destroy them. Because they had gone against his wife. And it was after that he told us about the pumpkin papers, which were microfilmed State Department documents that had been stolen to be handed over to the Russians, but that Hiss had secreted in a pumpkin in his farm.
Do you recall, did Nixon give you any advice, like about life or anything?
Yeah.
What did he say?
Get your doctorate, young man. No, he didn't do that. That's not true. No, he didn't give me advice.
But he was jovial. Was this post Watergate that you met him?
Oh yeah, way after. He liked me, and he liked us, and he thought I was funnier than P.J. O'Rourke. You know who I later became fairly good. I got to know somewhat was Leonard Garment, who had been his attorney. He's a nice New York guy.
I see. So when you met him, did it seem that he had, I don't know, recovered from what happened with him and stuff?
I think he recovered.